Now we know how Hayley and Randy are connected in Beyond the Gates. In the Tuesday, October 14th episode, Hayley is pushed off a cliff after witnessing Danny and Bill kiss. She suddenly appears at Joey's casino, looking furious. Hayley's explosive reaction to Danny and Bill's kiss reveals the familial relationship between Randy and Hayley, and also hints at a revenge plot the brothers have been hatching for months. Their plan could be aimed at Bill and possibly the entire Dupree family. In the tense atmosphere of constant calculation, Hayley stands on the threshold of a big decision, a move that will not only change her life but also bring about unpredictable turmoil. It all starts with a seemingly small event, but opens up deep secrets from the past. This story is not just a story of a woman's revenge, but a complex plot woven from hatred, personal interests, and cruel calculations. On a not-so-bright night in the past, when Hayley was pregnant, she had to face a severe stomach ache in Uptown. With such a health condition, she would have needed the help of her relatives, especially Danny, her close friend who was always ready to take care of her. However, instead of letting Danny take her to the hospital, Hayley decided to go with a stranger, who was later revealed to be Randy, her cousin. This was not a random decision. This action opened up a big doubt. Was Hayley's pregnancy part of a larger conspiracy that she and Randy had planned all along? This question not only makes Danny suspicious, but it also creates a series of subsequent events, making the relationship between Hayley and the people around her more complicated than ever. This past event is a signal that Hayley is not a woman simply caught up in personal difficulties, but a person who always tries to take advantage of every situation to serve her own purposes. Moving to the present, the story becomes more tense when Hayley witnesses Bill passionately kissing Danny. Anger flares up in Hayley like an uncontrollable fire. She goes to Joey's casino, where all the dark plots begin to be revealed. Hayley does not hide the anger she feels from witnessing that scene. And then, she reveals her intention to cut off his legs, referring to Bill as a clear sign of her revenge plan. For Hayley, this revenge is not just personal revenge, but a way for her to demonstrate her power and control over those who have hurt her. She not only wants to hurt Bill physically, but also wants to destroy him in terms of his reputation and career, making him lose everything he has built. The question is, does the cutting him off that Hayley refers to mean physical torture, or the destruction of Bill's reputation and career? In this context, what she is planning is not just personal revenge, but a hidden war within the Dupree family. When Hayley comes to Naomi and has an affair with Bill, her every action seems to be no longer about love or passion, but part of her strategy to manipulate and break down all barriers to achieve her larger goal, to make the Dupree family collapse from within. Bill, meanwhile, is constantly reminiscing about his past relationship with Danny. This complicated relationship never seems to be completely resolved, no matter how hard Bill tries. The love triangle between Bill, Danny, and Andre becomes increasingly tangled and fraught with tension. Each has their own motives and secrets, and while Bill wants to protect Danny from the consequences of their past, Andre feels he is being pushed into a never-ending battle. In all of this, Hayley seems to be the only one left behind, but not because of incompetence, but because she herself is playing a dangerous game, not realizing that she is pushing herself into a trap she cannot escape. As the story progresses, it becomes clear that Hayley is not acting out of love. She is not simply a wounded woman seeking revenge, but a calculating person who uses everything to serve her own personal goals. Her relationship with Randy was not a natural family affair, but part of a larger conspiracy. Her intimacy with Naomi, her affair with Bill, and her subsequent actions were all steps in a pre-planned scheme. Hayley's every move was for one purpose: to take control of the situation, to hurt those who had hurt her, and to leave no trace. As Hayley silently overwhelms everyone around her, causing chaos in the Dupree family, she may not realize that she herself is paying the price for her actions. For Hayley, revenge is not only about making Bill suffer physically, but also about destroying everything he is trying to build, reducing his value and dignity. But not everyone will stand by and watch her carry out this plan. No matter how perfect her plot is, everything may soon fall apart, and at that time, she will be the one to face the consequences of her own schemes. The tension in the story comes not only from Hayley's revenge actions, but also from the negative reactions of the surrounding characters. Each person has their own internal conflicts, difficult decisions to make, and all will have to face consequences that they cannot foresee. There is no clear winner in this war, and it is the contradictions, calculations, and dark plots that will push the characters into an inevitable confrontation. When Hayley decides to take action against Bill, her intention is not only revenge but also a complete boycott, a way for her to regain the power that was taken away and affirm that no one can stop her. However, when she decides to carry out this cruel plan, an unexpected element appears. Randy. Although they are related by blood, the difference in their views makes things complicated. Randy is a rational person, less influenced by emotions than Hayley. Although their relationship is somewhat intimate, Randy does not agree with Hayley's approach. He cannot support the action she is planning and strongly opposes harming Bill, who is after all a very influential figure. Randy understands that hurting Bill will not only harm him, but also expose them to unforeseen consequences, especially from the Dupree family. The argument between Hayley and Randy is not simply a disagreement about how to carry out the plot. This is a fierce confrontation, where the line between family affection and personal goals becomes blurred. When Hayley realizes that Randy cannot be persuaded, she may not hesitate to take action against her own cousin. A trap is set not only for Bill but also for Randy, an unexpected victim of her own plot. To keep her secret and protect her interests, Hayley is willing to sacrifice anyone, even her family members. Only when everything is done can she wholeheartedly continue with her plan without anyone stopping her. However, this argument not only affects the relationship between Hayley and Randy but also attracts the attention of Joey, a man with power and influence in the Dupree family. The tension between Hayley and Randy is not a small matter. When they loudly argue about whether to harm Bill or not, Joey, from the position of a person who always controls everything, cannot ignore it. From his perspective, this is an opportunity to unravel the dark secrets that the Dupree family is hiding. Joey not only hears the threat that Hayley is planning but also clearly sees the division within the family. This makes him alert and begins to learn more about the plots that Hayley is hiding. With Joey knowing everything, the next question is how he will act. On the other hand, if Joey decides to let things play out in his favor, it could have serious consequences. He could continue to maintain power in the Dupree family and protect his own interests, but leave Bill in the hands of Hayley and face danger. This could alienate the rest of the family and gradually make Joey a lonely, isolated person in his own family. Joey's every move will not only affect the present, but also shape the future of the Dupree family, especially when everyone knows that he was the one who witnessed this cruel plot and chose to remain silent. The final outcome of the story will depend on Joey's choice. Will he seek to redeem himself and do the right thing, or will he continue to harbor ambitions and let things play out in his best interests? Whatever choice he makes, the consequences of his decision will leave unhealed wounds in the Dupree family and may lead to events no one can predict as Hayley stands before the mirror. The dim light reflects a person full of hatred and determination. She knows that she is on the brink of an important decision, a move that will change not only her fate, but also the fate of the entire Dupree family. Her anger is not just revenge, but a long-term, calculated plan. The dark plots have been mapped out in advance, and Hayley has no intention of stopping until things go her way. However, like an unpredictable storm, Randy's appearance has caused a disruption in her strategy. When Hayley's cousin Randy strongly opposes her plan, disagreement is inevitable. They are not only family but also partners in a complex conspiracy, and yet their blood relationship cannot keep them together in a ruthless battle. Randy, who always sees things from a more realistic perspective, cannot stand by and watch Hayley go too far. He knows that her actions are not just a personal revenge but a decision that can cause unforeseen consequences for their entire family. But Randy's objection is not simply a matter of stopping a relative. He is trying to preserve Hayley's conscience in a risky situation. The quarrel between Hayley and Randy, which was originally just a disagreement within the family, cannot escape Joey's attention. This man, although not directly involved in the confrontation, has been watching step by step and realized that Hayley's dark schemes cannot last long without being discovered. The tension between them was like a tinderbox, posing a potential threat to the entire Dupree family. Joey, with his calculating nature and ability to control the situation, could not ignore this. He knew that if everything was exposed, not only Hayley but the whole family would be drawn into an unwinnable war. Randy's objection left Hayley with no choice but to keep her plan a secret and find ways to eliminate those who could hinder her. If necessary, she was willing to sacrifice even her closest friends to ensure that her plot was not exposed. However, when things went too far, Hayley's every action made Joey more suspicious and wary. For him, these tense situations were not only an opportunity to eliminate rivals, but also a way for him to consolidate his power in the Dupree family. As Joey began to understand what was going on, he was faced with a difficult choice. Will he side with Bill, save him from Hayley and make amends for his actions against Doug? Or will he continue to maintain his silence and let events unfold in his favor? Joey's decision will not only affect the present, but will also have a profound impact on the future of the Dupree family. If Joey chooses to save Bill, he will not only face opposition from Hayley, but also the inevitable civil war within the Dupree family. However, if Joey decides to abandon Bill and let things go according to Hayley's plan, he will have chosen a path from which there is no turning back. Such a decision will lead to a breakdown in his relationships with his family members, especially Danny, whom Joey has always considered an important part of his life. As things come to a head, Joey will face a difficult question. Can he continue to maintain his power in the Dupree family without paying too high a price? As the story unfolds, Hayley, Randy, and Joey face choices that could change everything. Each has their own motives, hidden secrets, and will all face the consequences of their own actions and decisions. Hayley may have thought she was in control, but in this game of intrigue, her calculations are not always correct. Randy, though somewhat weak in the face of his cousin, is the one who can stop Hayley, opening up a different direction for this story. And Joey, who is on the outside but has the most power, will have to decide between redemption and personal power, between loyalty and self-preservation. This battle is not only a struggle between hatred and love, but also a confrontation between sacrifice and self-interest, an inevitable battle in a family that is all too familiar with conspiracies and dark secrets. Will he choose to save Bill, which could help him make up for his past mistakes with Doug, or will he continue to stand aside and let things play out in his favor? Joey, despite being the powerful person in the Dupree family, always tries to maintain a balance of interests, especially after his past mistakes. Choosing to side with Bill could lead to him facing fierce confrontations with Hayley and other forces in the Dupree family, and there is no guarantee that he will be rewarded accordingly. However, if Joey decides to side with Bill and save him, he will face a great loss, not only in terms of power but also in terms of the family's trust. This move could be a repentance for his previous mistakes, when he himself got into unhealthy relationships and made Doug pay for his wrong decisions. In that context, Joey will have a chance to start over, correcting the mistakes of the past. But is he really willing to sacrifice personal interests to protect Bill, who may no longer be part of his plan? Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. All the content I make is just speculation and personal sharing. If you find the video interesting and useful, please support me with a like and leave a comment. If you have better ideas or more interesting speculations, please share them in the comments section for everyone to discuss. I appreciate all your contributions and support. Sincerely, thank you.